In step 1 you pick the region and the design of the map. That means you can zoom in and zoom out as much as you like, and then afterwards you can change the design of the map. For example, if you want to show rivers, lakes, borders, what colors you want to use, if there should be a topography style, and many other aspects of the map. So for this purpose, I'm going to move the mouse into the middle of the map, and then around the mouse cursor you see a frame. When you roll your mouse wheel up and down, what I'm doing right now, the frame becomes bigger or smaller. When you click with your left mouse button, it's going to zoom in the area within the frame. So for this purpose I'm going to zoom in to Europe, and then of course you can zoom in again step by step, so to speak. So in the second one I'm going to zoom into Spain. So right now I have a basic map of Spain, and as you can see there's not too much detail, it's just the outlines. There's a light green color for the landmass and blue for the oceans, and you can see the border lines here. So on the right hand navigation you have many different menus to change the design and the look and feel of the map. So the first one here is the type of map display. So if you activate topography 1, for example, what you will see on the left side is well, a different style. You can toggle between these, of course. So this will be a flat map, and this will be topography style 1. You can also use a neutral style if you click the checkbox here. So now it's more of a grayscale, but for this purpose we'll keep it as a colored in topography style. The next one will be to color in the layers of countries and oceans and lakes. Countries or country basically means the whole landmass. So if I check the box here, you will see that Spain, France and Portugal, so the visible landmass within this map, has a light greenish color, the one that I picked here. If I click on any of these drop-down menus here where it shows the color, it will open up a little menu and you can choose a different color. Just have a look at the map right now. I'm picking an orangey color here. And as you can see, the style has slightly changed. I'll make it more obvious picking a different color, for example red. So there you see it quite clearly. The topography style is still on, but you also see the red layer on top of it. I'll switch this back to light green color. The percentages here refer to the opacity, meaning if you make this 100%, the topography style won't be visible anymore, and the color is basically blocking out all the details. Right. So I switch this back to 50%. Another very useful feature is to colorize individual countries. So for example, from this drop-down menu I can pick Spain, and then I say color in the country. I just click the little checkbox here where it says coloring. Again, you see the color box here. If I click on it, the menu opens and I can choose a different color. Again, for example, red in this case. So right now Spain sticks out and it's, well, red. You can also choose again the opacity, meaning the color becomes stronger or less strong depending on the percentage that you choose. I'm going to choose a slightly different color here, orange. The last one would be additional display options. That means it's the details on the map. For example, there's small lakes here, there's a few rivers, and you can see the borders between the states. So for example, if I pick a different color for the borders, for example black, and then a different thickness 4, the borders should be visible much more clearly, as you can see here right now. For example, the rivers, they are activated in this map and they are quite thin. The thickness is set to 1 here. Again, I could set this to 5 and then they become more visible and more obvious. So depending on the style and the topic and what kind of information you want to show on a map, these additional display options can be quite useful. If you think of a, let's say, a political map, you might not need topography style or rivers and lakes. You might just need the countries and the outlines and the borders. I'll show you an example. I switch back to flat style, and I disable lakes and rivers. So right now it's a pretty simple map, political map if you want to put it that way. There's also a nice feature called Overview Map. When I activate it, you will see in the lower left hand corner a little overview map. In step 2, I'm jumping to step 2 right now, click here on step 2. You can click on it and then move it around. Sometimes it might not be in the right spot here in the lower left hand corner, so you can move it wherever you want. I'm going back to step 1. So, like I said, depending on the topic and the style of the map that you want to show, you can change all these different details and settings. Another neat feature is the scale down here. It of course changes depending on your zoom level. For example, if I zoom in a bit closer to Spain right now, let's say just the southeast corner of Spain, just have a look at the scale down here. It's 200 kilometers now. And of course, if I zoom in and the map region changes, the scale also changes automatically. And now the overview map makes a lot more sense, because if you just look at this map right now, I'm going to disable the overview map here. If you just look at this map right now, you might say, well, I don't know what part of the world this is, but if you activate the overview map, it gives you a better idea. Again, in step 2, you can click on it and move it around wherever you want. I will show you one last feature in step 1, which is very useful. You can of course always zoom back to the world map or zoom out one step. If I zoom out one step, as you see, and like I said, it's going to zoom out step by step. But of course you can also zoom out to the main map again, to the world map. And on the world map I don't need the overview map obviously, so I disable it. I'm going to zoom into Germany in this case. And let's say I want to cut out Germany, meaning I just want to show Germany, none of the other countries around it. There's a little trick you can do. So first of all, you color in Germany, you pick Germany from the drop-down menu, you give it a certain color. Again, I'm choosing orange right now. And then you disable all other features under additional display options. Countries, coasts, coastline. I leave the scale activated in this case. And then you can also make the country and the oceans and the lakes all the same color. Country refers to all the countries, so it's the whole landmass. So I'm going to make this white. And I'm also going to make the oceans and the lakes white. There you have it, Germany more or less cut out. And then I zoom in a bit further to center it around the map. You can do this with any country, of course. So right now you have Germany, none of the neighboring countries and none of the borders. There's also a last thing I wanted to show you. It refers to the sub-regions. So for example, if you pick Germany as your country and you color it in yellow or orange, you can also choose sub-regions. In Germany that would be the different states like Bavaria or Brandenburg, Hamburg and so on. So if I pick Bavaria in this case and choose a different color, you will see that Germany is still colored in an orange tone, but Bavaria is in a red tone, the color I just picked before. You can repeat this of course with all the other states, and you can either choose the same color or different colors. So there you go. Step 1 would be picking your map region and then picking a certain design, whether you want many details like lakes, rivers and so on, border lines and regional borders, or if you want more of a political map where you just show landmass and certain colors.